First is New Times. Super Tuesday meant big wins for the frontrunners. You saw the returns roll in right here on WPRI 12 last night with Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton each taking 7 states worth of delegates. They also both took Massachusetts. Let's now break down the delegate count as it stands right now. 1,237 delegates needed to claim the GOP nomination. Donald Trump is leading the pack right now with 285. Number 2 is Ted Cruz with 161. Marco Rubio has 87, followed by John Kasich and Ben Carson. On the Democrat side, 2,083 delegates are needed to win the nomination. Right now, Hillary Clinton has 1,001, Bernie Sanders with 371. We have team coverage wrapping up Super Tuesday's results. And we will check in with Ted Nesi. He'll have a breakdown in a moment, but let's start with Jared Pliner live at the Southeastern Massachusetts Mobile Newsroom.
Patrick, good afternoon. Well, I think Ted Nesi, of all people from WPRI.com, said it best when he wrote that Donald Trump's strong showing here in southeastern Massachusetts last night was, in a single word, huge. In the deepest of blue states, amid big voter turnout, Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump picked up nearly 50% of the GOP vote Super Tuesday, earning more support than former Governor Mitt Romney in 2012 and 2008. The heart of Trump's Massachusetts victory? Bristol County, which delivered him every city in town and made up the real estate mogul's biggest landslide of the night. 55% of Republican support here. The closest contender was Marco Rubio at 16%.
We need somebody that's going to be honest in that White House.
Charles Chase had his Make America Great Again sign out Tuesday, but it wasn't always that way. He was initially a Ted Cruz man.
I didn't think that he was going to be strong enough in with the military, with protecting America, so I went with Trump.
On the Democrat side of the fence, the race was white hot. Hillary Clinton managed a razor-thin victory over Bernie Sanders in Bristol County by 0.4%. Sanders won a number of local contests, including Attleboro. Lisa Lemieux is backing Clinton.
I think people believe that she has what it takes, to run our country, that she has the experience. People are not confident that every other candidate has the experience that Hillary does.
But Clinton's support in Massachusetts has deteriorated since 2008 when she romped President Obama in Bristol County with nearly 70% of the vote. Richard Drolet says the enthusiasm for Sanders is high, recalling one phone conversation.
Oh, we already voted. In fact, our whole family voted for Bernie. He's great. And thank you for your work in making these phone calls.
And breaking down some of the cities here, in the city of New Bedford, for example, Trump brought in 58%, 62% in Fall River, 59% in Taunton. For Clinton, 54% in New Bedford, 57% in Fall River, 50% in Taunton. And by the way, statewide, John Kasich finished with 18% of the vote. Marco Rubio was 17.9, just a hair below that. Live in New Bedford this noon time. For the Southeastern Massachusetts Mobile Newsroom, I'm Jared Pliner, Eyewitness News.
WPRI.com reporter Ted Nesi joining us in studio to read the tea leaves, sort of sort all this out. Jared Pliner quoting your article.
Wow.
For me. That's
high honor there.
Quite the comment right there. All right, good night for Donald Trump. Things just so complicated, though, on the Republican side. To try and break it down for us.
So you're absolutely right. If you're a Donald Trump supporter, you have to be feeling pretty good today. He won a majority of states last night. He added to his lead in the delegates. You showed those numbers, Patrick. But he also saw a number of states won by other candidates. Ted Cruz took 3 states, including his home state of Texas. A lot of delegates there. And Marco Rubio took 1, Minnesota. John Kasich also came close to winning a state up in Vermont, but he did lose that to Trump in the end. So, as I said, if you're a Donald Trump supporter, his march to the nomination is continuing, and you have to feel good about that. Now, usually a candidate doing this well would be the assumed nominee, but Trump is not like other candidates. He faces deep opposition from some in the Republican establishment. They're looking for Rubio or Kasich to slow Trump down on their home states of Florida and Ohio, which vote 2 weeks from now. But the window is really closing for Rubio and Kasich as Trump continues to show strength and rack up delegates.
It certainly does. All right, so now on the Democratic side, it was a different story. Hillary Clinton won a lot of delegates, although Bernie Sanders, he took some states. Is it over, though, for Sanders? If he had a stronger showing, say, in Massachusetts or won Massachusetts, you'd still give him a fighter's chance?
I think you're exactly right again, Patrick. It's, you don't want to say it's over till it's totally over, but it's close to over probably for Bernie Sanders in terms of winning the nomination. Hillary Clinton showed last weekend in South Carolina and last night again, she has massive support from minority voters, especially African Americans, and they cast a lot of votes in Democratic primaries, particularly in the South. Sanders just can't compete if he can't win those voters over, and he hasn't so far. On top of that, like you said, Sanders really needed a big win in Massachusetts, not even just a win. He fought hard in that state, and because he failed to win there, he's going to get even further behind in delegates to Hillary Clinton. So right now, I'd say nobody expects Sanders to drop out. He's still drawing, you see right there, these huge crowds, and he's raising a lot of money, and he wants to keep pressing the issue of income inequality. But Clinton, I think, is going to stop focusing on Sanders. I think we're going to see her start to talk more and more about Donald Trump. You even saw that, I think, in her speech after the results came in last night.
That's right. Rhode Island's primary is April 26th. Do you think this thing will be all wrapped up by then as far as who the nominees are for each party?
Well, as I say, if the Democratic race continues the way it has, I think it's hard to see Rhode Island making a big difference in April 26th when we vote. Though I think it is possible the campaigns will stop by, just to make a good showing with the voters. But on the Republican side, I think there is a possibility that you're going to see Rhode Island still matter April 26th. If Trump continues to face a splintered field and you have people like Marco Rubio saying they'll fight him all the way to the convention in the summer, they're going to need those 19 delegates that Rhode Island can offer. So you could see the Republican race still going on, still hot. We need to see how things develop in the coming weeks to know if Rhode Island will be the center of attention.
It's amazing. I think we're witnessing American political history.
Yes, nobody thought Donald Trump could do this. Show me a pundit who a year ago said that Donald Trump would do this. You can't.
If he's the nominee, maybe people won't even show up to the convention. That'd be very strange to see, but we're getting way ahead of ourselves. Thanks, Ted, for coming in. Great insight, as always. You can read much more from Ted on WPRI.com. Count on Eyewitness News as your local source for everything in campaign 2016 all throughout this election year. Following last night's big primaries, go to WPRI.com to see how each city and town in Massachusetts voted, and there's a lot more on there as well.